A very good evening, and thanks for clicking on to Vogan's European Outlook. It's Friday the 27th of May, and we will end May and meteorological spring on a rather chilly note indeed, and begin summer 2022 equally chilly. It's all thanks to a negative Arctic oscillation, North Atlantic oscillation. As you can see here, this is the NAO forecast going from firmly positive to firmly negative over the next several days. So high pressure, instead of being to the south of the UK with low pressure near Iceland, we're flipping the pattern around and putting high pressure up towards Iceland. And of course, that means we are pulling our air in from a cool source for the time of the year. So the Arctic oscillation as well going firmly negative, and this is the upper pattern for this of the CFSV2 for the upcoming 7-day period here. So this is the mean anomaly here at 500 millibars. You can see here a firm negative NAO signal with low pressure near the Azores, high pressure near Iceland. Got a pretty pronounced trough over Scandinavia, as you can see, and we're seeing our air coming in from the east-northeast. You can see here this is the 2-meter temperature anomaly for the upcoming 7 days, so firmly cool compared to normal, as you can see here, off the CFSV2. Looking at the current chart, this is off the ECMWF, and you can see here that at this very moment in time we've got the still positive NAO signal with high pressure to the southwest of the UK, low pressure to the north. And of course, in recent days, we've seen some pretty strong winds coming in from the west over the last couple of days, keeping temperatures pretty subdued for the time of the year, actually. Feeling quite cold, actually, in that wind. We had gusts in excess of 50 miles an hour over the Western Isles, and over the higher elevations of the Cairngorms, we've had wind gusts in excess of 70, even pushing 80 miles per hour. So unseasonably windy conditions as well across the UK for the time of the year. But as we play through the next several days, through the upcoming weekend here, high pressure builds to the north, but instead of building over the UK, it kind of stays to the west and lifts north, and that essentially means that we're turning the winds rather than being from the west. And today for the northwest, they're actually turning more northerly. But with sunshine and in shelter of that wind, temperatures will still respond. We could still see the high teens in the Glasgow to Edinburgh corridor tomorrow, for example, despite the fact that we've got a northerly wind blowing, and temperatures at the 5,000 foot level is actually coming down with the source of air coming in from the north. Through the next several days then, we see over the weekend that area of high pressure pretty much staying anchored between Scotland and Iceland. We are under the eastern flank of that area of high pressure, so we're under the windy kind of east side of the anticyclone, and that is transporting fairly chilly air down over the British Isles, particularly cold or cool, should I say, in the far north, and also down that east coast where water temperatures, they're still cool, but they're now starting to come up as we start to push towards the summer season, of course. But you can see here that there is, off the ECMWF, still plenty of shower activity in that northerly flow. And actually, as we push into the early portion of next week, it becomes quite messy, because what we've got is that area of high pressure kind of lifts a little bit further north up towards Iceland, in fact, actually just north of Iceland. And we've got an area of low pressure that then sinks south, over southern Norway, down into the eastern side of the North Sea. And with that northeasterly wind, we've got some quite lively showers coming in from a northeasterly direction, and feeling distinctly cool in that northeasterly wind. So temperatures are certainly going to be pretty subdued as we introduce summer 2022 across the UK. And you can see here, by the time we reach Monday at 18 UTC time, we've got an area of low pressure that's very low, that was over southern Norway, almost centred right over Scotland and over the British Isles during the early portion of next week. And that could be an unusually cool beginning to the month of June. Temperatures possibly struggling to get much out of like 10, 11, 12 Celsius, even during the daytime. And if you get any sort of clear skies at night, it could be close to freezing in some rural areas with this type of setup here. So, but certainly it looks as if we're going to introduce a very, very chilly end to the month of May, beginning of June, with a very negative NAO signal here. Low pressure near the Azores as opposed to high pressure that we've seen so dominant lately. And of course, area of high pressure, pretty strong indeed, encompassing the North Atlantic from Greenland up towards the Norwegian Sea here. So we've got a complete reversal. Like I've said in the last couple of videos, if only we got this pattern back in the winter time, it would have been certainly some exciting things weather-wise. So yeah, it looks as if we are going to see that low pressure moving in from the north and northeast as we end the month of May and begin the month of June in summer 2022. But off the CFSV2 itself, we have a little bit of a reversal. Once we go into week 2, it's interesting how the CFSV2 still holds on to average to below average temperatures across the majority of the British Isles here, below average actually across the north and northeast of Scotland, as you can see here, warmer than normal across more southern portions of Europe here. And then as we push in deeper into the month of June, we'll start to see a reversal taking place. Now, also want to keep an eye on and consider the Madden-Julian oscillation, which is becoming a little bit more pronounced within the tropics here. We're starting to see enhanced convection over the Western Pacific as we go through the next week or so here, and that is going to rotate into phases 8 and possibly back into phase 1 as well. So that means they're enhancing the convection within the tropics over the Western Hemisphere and Africa eventually here, and that enhancement of energy then starts to reshape the pattern further north here, and I think we are going to see a changeover to warmer conditions, positive NAO, positive AO as we go into week 2 and week 3 of June here. So while we open on a fairly chilly note, I don't think we're going to maintain that chilly theme as we go further into the month of June here overall. So yeah, plenty of things to look at here and consider. Certainly the tropics having a big dictation, if that's the right word, on determining how the pattern starts to evolve as we push deeper into summer's opening month. So we'll keep an eye on that here on YouTube. Please do check out marfoganweather.com over the next few days. I'm going to have not only a June outlook but also the summer forecast. So it's going to be interesting, and also I'll look at the Jubilee weekend as we go forward as well. So plenty of things to keep it right here on YouTube. Thanks for watching as always. Always appreciated. Please like, share and subscribe, and I'll be back in the next couple of days with more. Bye for now.